Federal Reserve cutting its key interest rate again today. There's the man of the hour. We just heard from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell a short time ago. NewsNation's Alicia Nieves monitoring market reaction to all of this, and she joins us from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange about 7 minutes before the closing bell. What do we see, Alicia?
Yeah, we've seen kind of a roller coaster ride here on the markets. Listen, as soon as the rate decision came down at 2 o'clock, we saw markets initially they were to the upside and they maintained that upside position. But when the Fed chair spoke, and I've been saying this all morning, that was the big market mover that was going to be in. That's what we saw. We've seen a sell-off since. The Dow was lower by about 200 points just an hour or so ago. Now it's coming off its lowest point. The S&P 500 lower just fractionally here, but was lower by about 0.2%. The NASDAQ, the only one now looking to close to the upside again after we saw a record high ahead of the Fed's decision. The reason why we saw this pullback, even though we did get that 0.25% rate cut that the markets were expecting and that most people wanted, was because Fed Chair Powell said outright that December's rate cut, that's not a foregone thing. That really surprised markets because ahead of this, they were pricing in almost a 90% probability that come December, we get another rate cut. Here's exactly, though, what Powell said.
In the committee's discussions at this meeting, there were strongly differing views about how to proceed in December. A further reduction in the policy rate at the December meeting is not a foregone conclusion. Far from it. Policy is not on a preset course.
Yeah, Powell adding that at least one member come December wants to see a 0.5% rate cut. Another member wants to see no cut, kind of indicating that most members seem to be somewhere in the middle. Nonetheless, that December rate cut probability has now gone from, almost 90% just 2 hours ago to under 60% probability we get at least a 0.25% rate cut. I will also point out, Connell, here that, one thing that Powell talked a lot about and people had a lot of questions about was how the FOMC was able to make this decision not having economic data due to the government shutdown. He did say that we've gotten, the Fed has used some private sector data. That's been helpful to give it a bit of a picture, but certainly not the granular level picture that the Fed would like to see right now and moving into December. So a bit of a mixed reaction on Wall Street as it relates to this rate cut, but more importantly, the rate cut that we could or maybe could not see come December, Connell.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying before. This idea of flying blind without the data makes it all the more interesting. Yeah. Alicia Nieves live at the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.